etc. Welcome to Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. See? Heart. I have a heart today. I have eel and I have poo with lots of glitter and nice butterflies. I just thought I'd show you that. So I do appreciate it literally from the bottom of my heart. So in a moment, I'm going to let you know why I was so nervous I was shaking, which was very unexpected today. Or yesterday now, because we've just gone after midnight. But if you don't know who I am, just to introduce myself, if you're new to the channel, I am Sandra Fermi. I'm author of this beautiful, awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity book. And they are real life asexual stories. They kind of bring everything to life that really happens with asexuals in the real world. I'm also the author of this fibromyalgia self-help handbook because I do have fibromyalgia, but I manage it really well to have less pain, more energy and feel happier. And yes, I live my own superhero rock star life. I'm known as Ace Fibro Girl. So if you've got fibromyalgia or anxiety, depression, that's also an awesome book to get. Right, that's enough about me. Straight onto the video. So like I said, I always share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. And I've been speaking with you a lot about dating relationships on this channel. I've talked to you and said, you know, now the situation is that a lot of us have been isolating. Many of us are still self-isolating, staying at home more with the big thing that's going on in the world at the moment in June 2020. So some people are like, oh, I can't go dating now. I can't possibly, you know, like have any dating. I can't see anyone, right? I've told you before, there's no bigger, better opportunity than these times now because more people will be at home. More people will be online. People that are not usually online, that are looking to kind of facilitate other parts of their life that they haven't really paid attention to before. Maybe it's because they're working a lot, you know? So you have to understand that there's better quality people online now, even though there's a lot of rubbish too. So it's very important that you're using this time wisely, not to sit on your butt and say, well, I can't date because I can't actually see anyone. How many asexuals actually meet a potential partner in person straight away? Most asexuals do not. Most of us meet other asexuals online in forums, in groups. So it makes sense that you should be using this time now. Sometimes I say, how is dating going in my groups? And they're like, well, it isn't, is it? You know, we're in lockdown all week. It's too safe. And we're trying to be safe and it's not safe to go and meet people. Why does it always get something in my eyes? And so, you know, they're like, you know, you're crazy type thing. And it's like, no, I'm not crazy because online dating is huge. And that includes for asexuals. You know, there are asexual dating sites. I run 3 asexual groups on Facebook, as you know, right? There's every opportunity out there for you. Every opportunity. You should be maximizing it, not sit down like saying I can't date or can't find anyone when you haven't actually been bothered to contact people, approach people and try to strike up a conversation, you know? It's very important. So with this in mind, I have approached some people on ASAP. So I've been talking mostly to 3 people over the last like 48 hours. There was an Indian guy I told you about as well several days ago, and he lived in Canada, but he was staying in Canada and a smoker. He's really lovely guy. I got on so well with him, but obviously we can't be together because he's over there, I'm over here, he wants to stay there and everything like that. So that wasn't suitable. But I found out from that conversation that he loves kissing, and he was the second Indian guy that I've met that really adores kissing like as much as I do. So that gave me hope that although neither of those were the right Indian guy for me, it meant that I could find a guy who's into kissing on the asexual spectrum as much as me. So that made me really happy. So I think in life we meet people and maybe they're not the one for us, but they tell us something or give us some indication about our future, maybe about ourselves. Maybe they're there to test us, you know. There's a lot of red herrings around to find the right person or people, if you're polyamorous, to be in a relationship with, right? So there's quite a lot of tests. So with this in mind, I have connected more with guys. So that guy from Canada, he wasn't suitable for me. But in the last like couple of days, there's been a guy on acebook.net. Hello to you. You know who you are. I'm not going to mention names because I don't think it's fair. But he's been watching some of my videos and we've been having some nice chats. I think he's 32 and he's in the UK, British as far as I know. And you know, when I'm speaking about quality, all three guys that I've been in conversation with over the last couple of days, they are really much more high quality guys. And even though, you know, maybe none of them or maybe just one of them might be suitable for me, but, you know, definitely, you know, none of them might be suitable for me to be in a relationship with. But, you know, with the three people I'm talking to at the moment, all of them seem like they're guys who've got their life a lot more sorted. Oh, hi, Abba. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming on as usual. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a while, actually. Lovely to see you. Lots of love. So with the three guys, I'm just talking about dating relationships and how nice, a wonderful time to do it because we've got more people at home at the moment, more people who are off work, so we can connect with better quality people that we wouldn't usually have the opportunity to do. So we might make a relationship or just even better friends out of this situation, you know, online at the moment. So there's three guys, I'm just recapping here, there's anyone who's just joined. There's three guys I've been talking to. One's an ASAP, was saying he's about 32, I think. He's British as far as I know, so romantically he wouldn't usually be my type, but every few days he's been keeping in contact with me. And he's on the more grey end of the asexual spectrum. Now, with me having grey areas, I thought maybe I'm actually more suited to someone on the more grey end of the asexual spectrum, because I have the grey area of the way I like to kiss and be really close with my guy with clothes on. My guy, I haven't got a guy yet, but in theory, you know, so I thought maybe I should start exploring the more grey end of the asexual spectrum more. It does scare me a bit though, because some of the guys that are grey, asexual, demisexual, you know, I have to find one who doesn't actually need sex and is quite happy to live without sex forever on the grey end, and who doesn't need me to take all my clothes off and start touching all my body because it's just not comfortable for me. So, you know, that's my only really biggest fear with that end of the spectrum, you know, because it's too sexual for me. Because I like to do most things with my clothes on. Do you know what I mean? Well, pretty much everything with my clothes on. With a person, with my guy. So yeah. So anyway, the guy from ASAP though, he's acebook.net. He's really nice to talk to. And like I said, these three guys are all better quality guys than I usually talk to because they've kind of got hobbies and interests. They're kind of like making progress in their life. They kind of are sort of sorted usually with their career by the sounds of it, or one of them is still looking for work, but they kind of know the path they're on, you know, and they've got lots of interests that I find interesting. Like I like a guy who's creative and intelligent. I really like a guy. I find it very, very super attractive. You know, you can't be in a relationship with a guy who just doesn't have anything going for him or not really doing much and just sat in front of the TV. It's not going to be a very good relationship. And even friends, it's nice to have some friends with some different variety of subjects to talk about. And I love creativity, you know, I feel a very buzz out of talking about creative stuff. So the guy on ace-book.net, he's into self-development quite a bit. I think he said he was doing an online course, so you know, I can really relate to that. He's got some different things to me because he likes going out in nature and stuff like that. And you know, I think most of them do actually, but you know, like he seems like a really decent person, and so that's nice. You know, I appreciate talking to him. You know, and he seems like a nice person to talk to. He's a grey demi end of the asexual spectrum. He even calls himself something grey on his profile. So I think that's nice. He's upfront about that, and he's nice to talk to. He seems like a decent person. Who's got his job sorted, who's got hobbies and interests that he does. I think that's really nice. What specifically is uncomfortable about your physical experiences, if you wouldn't mind? Visual touch. Abba, well, this channel's for asexuals, those who lack sexual attraction. So I don't get the need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. So I had sex in the past, and I did like lots of sexual stuff in the past, but I found out I couldn't do that anymore because I don't like it. And I found out I was asexual in 2014. And then that was the end of that. So, do you know what I mean? So no, I mean, I like being physical, but with clothes on. I don't need a guy touching my top bit and my private bit. That's like for me. So it's not for him to be doing that. I just like kissing, lots of kissing, close bodily contact with clothes on. Kissing is my thing. So yeah, so I'm not a sexual creature, you know. I'm asexual in sexual orientation, which is the absence of sexual attraction. So I don't look at a guy and ever want sex with him. Never ever enters my head. And all the people I'm talking to now are asexual. Just there's different types of asexuals. So the ones on the more grey end of the asexual spectrum, they lack sexual attraction too, but there's two different types of grey asexuals. One is grey asexual, the textbook definition of a grey asexual is someone who experiences sexual attraction, but only under limited, rare, or specific circumstances, or who experiences it but not enough to want to act on it. And then you have a demisexual who's basically the same as all asexuals until a deep emotional bond has been formed, maintained, and sustained. And only then could they have enjoy any sexual relationship. And some demisexuals can live without sex, and others have to have it because once they've met that deeply bonded person to them who they feel safe and comfortable around, they basically become the same as a sexual person, in the sense they experience sexual attraction. So yeah, I hope that makes sense to you, but if you're not asexual, it might be difficult for you to understand. So anyway, that's really good. So I was speaking to that guy on acebook.net, which is an asexual dating site, not a sexual one. And then I'm speaking to a guy on ASAP, which is a asexual dating and social network app. And this guy is in the UK, in the southwest of the UK. I live in the southwest of the UK. And he's 23, I think. So 10 years difference, nearly. 9 years difference, 23, 32. About 9 years difference. Yeah, 9 years difference. So he is really nice to talk to. I have even more in common with him, because I'm a writer and his main ambition is to be a writer, but he wants to be a fiction writer, not a non-fiction writer like me, because obviously I've got my own publishing company. And I was telling him about that, and he was so supportive, and he was really, really good about my career. And it was lovely to talk to him because obviously we've got the writing in common. So he wants to be a speculative fiction writer and another type of fiction writer. But he said since he's finished uni, with the situation in the world as it is, it's been hard for him to actually go out and get work. So, but he does, I think he does voluntary work. Yeah, he does voluntary work. So, you know, I really admire him. You know, he's doing voluntary work. He's not sat at home like doing nothing whilst he's looking for work, you know. And he is also, like I said, writing. He loves writing and wants that to be like his full-time thing. But he realizes that he's got to get some work before then to like pay bills, because as any writer knows, it's not easy living off writing. It's kind of a passion, a dream. Oh, wonderful. Because I was saying my dream is to be a writer full time. I live off being a writer, that would be my ultimate dream, because he was asking me what a dream was. And we have some really nice flowing conversations. He's actually spoke to me most days on there. So that's been really good. If you enjoy passionate kissing, doesn't that mean that there is at least some coital attraction? Could the issue be a safety and security issue? There's no issues, aber I'm asexual, right? I don't want sex. I don't like it. Don't need it. I've had it for a lot in my past. You know, it's asexual is a, it's a sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction. There's a lack of sexual attraction. I don't want sexual intercourse. I have no interest in sexual. I had it. The last time I had sexual intercourse was 2011. I have no wish to do it again. I don't experience sexual attraction. I did it then because I thought I had to, because of part of a normal relationship. You know, And, you know, that was what society brings us up in it. Society and parents and family, friends, they all condition us to believe that heterosexuality is the only sexuality and everyone must have it. And if you don't, you're not normal. And it's just rubbish. You know, it's rubbish. I was asexual looking back on it from a very, very young age, but didn't realise it at the time. You know, and I'm not interested in sexual intercourse. But yeah, I like intimacy, like a lot of other asexuals do, which varies from asexual to asexual. I'm nudity repulsed. I don't like the naked body. It's disgusting to me, both male and female. But if I had to choose between the two, because I'm only attracted to guys aesthetically, I was always choose a guy. So, but you know, I'm not interested in the male anatomy. It doesn't look nice. It does nothing for me. I'm not interested in that. Kissing does everything for me. I love kissing. I love the sensation of kissing, the feeling of kissing, the niceties of kissing, excitement of kissing. Kissing's wonderful. I love kissing only with someone I'm highly aesthetically attracted to. Like, I can't just kiss anyone, but I love kissing. It's really, really nice. It's like one of my favorite things to do in a relationship, and holding hands and cuddling and all that lot. That's really nice. You know, I like affection, but I don't need sex. And so yeah, so the third person I'm talking to, I met on meetup.com actually, and I messaged a few guys on there from a sexual group that I'm part of, and they all are foreign. I thought all of them possibly are Indian, because obviously, you know, Indian's my top attraction. And there was one guy, I think I mentioned it to you on a previous episode, there's one guy on there, and he said, oh, he's asexual sometimes. So I didn't really know what I meant, but I guessed he meant he was on the more grey end of the asexual spectrum, demi. And out of all the people, he actually messaged me back. And that was really nice, because we got talking. I would say today, but it's after midnight now, and the next day, and we got talking and messaging, and he seems like a really nice person, and he lives in the UK, in London actually, which is fantastic. Doesn't want sex, doesn't want marriage, doesn't want kids like me, which is so awesome. I think he's a bit more into cuddling than I am, more into kissing, and he's got a really decent job, and he's really creative as well. So yeah, we ended up messaging, I think, for about 3 hours today. It was really nice. But I was at one point literally shaking. I was so nervous. And because, you know, like, if you've watched this channel before, that I'm really into Indian guys, right? And I need to find an asexual one who doesn't need sex and likes sex like me, basically, but likes the affection, right? And so, you know, most of the guys that I come across, then they don't actually live in the UK. Most of the Indian guys live in other countries, yeah, predominantly India. And so there's kind of not really any chance of me being with them in real life, if you know what I mean. And so that kind of makes the situation harder in some ways, because it's more upsetting, but it's kind of like it's never going to happen. So I don't really need to worry about it in an anxiety sense. And if you watch this channel before, you know I still do have some anxiety. And so this guy, I could tell, was actually seriously interested in me in a bit more romantic sense. You know, he definitely wasn't just interested in me as a friend. He was asking me what my ideal relationship would look like my dream type of guy and relationship. And I'm like, do you really want to know that? Because at this point, he didn't know that I like Indian guys. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, and he's like, yeah, basically, if that's okay. And I said, I feel really shy and nervous. And you know, I don't get shy or nervous very often. So it was really, really strange. And then my hands decided to start shaking. It was like shaking. I could feel it like this. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I said, I'm shaking when I feel shy, and I'm shaking when I'm telling you this, because it's one thing to tell an Indian guy stuff who lives in India or another country you can never see actually in your life and probably never ever meet. But it's another to tell a guy who's pretty much a stranger to you how you feel about Indian guys, and the fact you even like Indian guys in the first place, when he is actually Indian. And he ticks a lot of the initial boxes of stuff I say I'd like. So it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, how do I say to him that I like this, that, and the other, which is basically some of what he's like, without totally looking like I'm sounding like I'm totally aiming at him? Do you know what I mean? And I was so nervous because I was thinking, oh God, this guy actually is in the UK and he genuinely likes me. I don't know why I'm itching when I'm saying this. I have itches. And so it made me really nervous. Really, really, really nervous because my hands were like shaking. I felt my body even shaking, but particularly my hands. And I was so nervous. And I thought, well, you just got to go for it, Sandra. Just splurt everything out that you can possibly think of that he needs to know. And then if he doesn't like what he hears, he'll just walk away. And it's better to say it now than actually become friends with him. And down the line, he's like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to know you anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I thought it's very, very important to just splurt it out. So about 20 minutes, maybe it's even half an hour later, he's still waiting for the answer on Facebook Messenger because he connected with me on Facebook Messenger, which is a huge tick for him. And he was still waiting for it. He literally waited till I'd finished the message. He didn't go, he didn't leave the messenger. And I was so happy about it. I thought that's such a decent guy who's actually genuinely interested in me. I thought it was just amazing and incredible. And I don't know why I'm itching. I'm itching because I'm nervous, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've just washed this top. I just was really, really nervous. And I thought, how do I say everything? So I did. I just blurted everything out. The guy had everything at once. Like, he had like my ideal type of guy, who I said was younger Indian guy in his 20s. Now, I don't know how old he is, but I am assuming he's about 28. I'm assuming that. I don't know that for definite, right? So, like I was saying, a younger foreign guy in his 20s, short dark hair, which he has. And I was saying no marriage, no kids, no sex. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. And I was saying like stuff about about the fact that I would love eventually the guy to live around the corner from me, not with me. And I was saying basically the type of physical stuff I like the kissing stuff I like, and how far I would go with that. And about he's got to support me in my career. Now, I have to say, he's really supportive straight away because he actually watched my videos on this channel. Hello, if you're watching. Lots of love to you. I say lots of love to everyone, just so you know, because we ended it as friendship at the moment. But I just wanted to let you know I always say lots of love to everyone. Now I said that and I'm going shy. Only because it's an Indian guy in the UK. Otherwise I wouldn't mind. See what I'm like? Look, I'm blushing. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. And I can't speak when I talk about Indian guys. What's going on? So anyway, so I basically blurted everything out, the type of relationship I wanted, like where I wanted to go with him on dates, what sort of things I like. He does like Disney and Pixar movies, which is a plus as well, because so do I. And he does like going to Nando's, which is plus. And he doesn't want sex, he doesn't want marriage, doesn't want kids, and he likes to sleep in his own bed. And I'm like, wow, those are the big things that you need to have in common. So I was like, wow, this kind of ticks quite a few boxes. And he needs intelligence in a person, in a woman, because he's hetero romantic. And I'm like, he's going to get that with me 100 gazillion% if he was interested in me like that. I mean, he is a little bit interested in me romantically. It's obvious. But he said about being friends first. He said, I couldn't just be in a relationship with someone I wasn't friends with first and didn't get to know. And I totally agree with him on that as well. Because what have I been saying on this channel lately? 18 months to 2 years, really. You need to know someone before you get into a relationship with them. It's very, very important. And I can't be in a relationship with someone I'm not friends with first. I mean, look at the state of me today. I was literally, my hands were shaking. I'm like, what's going on? Because I thought, it's possible I could meet this guy. Like, he's in my country. He's got a really decent job. So there's no reason why he couldn't actually come and pay down here to come and see me. It's very easy from London to get to my city. Obviously not at the moment in the current world globe safety crisis. With the V. I don't like to say the word, you know what I mean? So, So yeah, it's kind of like it's possible for us to meet. That made me really nervous. And the fact that he's actually taken a genuine interest in me made me really nervous. Because usually I'm used to rejection, you know. I'm like, yeah, next one, whatever. I'll just keep dancing and going to my club until I find the right guy. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying this guy is the right guy. I'm definitely not saying this guy's the right guy. There's some parts of his grey asexuality that maybe not the same as my grey areas of kissing. You know, my grey area of kissing is sexual in behaviour, which I did tell him up front, you know. So I wasn't sure how he's going to take that. But as he's on the grey end of the asexual spectrum himself, then I thought he might be more open to that, you know. So, you know, everyone has their own needs in relationships, you know, everyone has their own interests. And when I told him I like theme parks, zoos, aquariums, he didn't say he liked any of those. And he didn't say he liked dancing either. But he likes art. And he does art. And I used to study art at school. And Picasso's my favourite artist. And he sent me pictures of like from a gallery he went to and took some pictures of Picasso paintings. So, you know, that was really nice to have that in common as well. He likes biology. I studied biology at school, and A level I did for a year as well. So I just thought the guy's very interesting to talk to. Oh, he likes talking as well, which is a big plus, you know, because I don't want to be in a potential relationship with a guy who doesn't like talking and stuff. But like he said, like, it's best for us to be friends. And the good thing about this guy is, although he's Indian, he's not exactly completely 100% like my ideal type of guy aesthetically. And the good thing about that is it helps me to not get hyper romantic over him. Because obviously, if I was getting hyper romantic over an Indian guy, like I did with that guy in Canada, to be perfectly honest with you, he was so sweet, and I felt instantly like connected to him, probably on a spiritual kind of like level in a way. It was too much. It's too painful for me. It got me upset. Do you know what I mean? I can't do that. I can't carry on talking to a guy like that, because, you know, if I carry on talking to a guy like in Canada, I mean, we're still friends on Facebook. I might talk to him sometimes, but I think he got the idea because I said I don't experience platonic attraction, and it's very bad for me. And so since then, he's left me alone. I think he thought, oh, that's not great. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you don't want to talk to me anymore. And it's just because it's painful for me, not because he's a bad guy. He's a lovely, lovely guy, the guy in Canada. I get on really well with him, like too well straight away, you know? But it's too painful for me. And I always say, if you're hankering after the wrong person, or you've got feelings or emotions going into someone who's wrong for you, you're not going to find the right person, which is why I tend to like kind of backtrack or cut off a bit, or cut off completely in some cases, from other Indian guys, because it's like, not all Indian guys. I've still got some friends on Facebook that are Indian, but it's kind of like, you know, I've got the older Indian guy that I told you about, the one that I thought asexuality is salvation, bless his heart. He is actually a really nice person. He's older than me. I think I told you he's nearly 48, so he's not someone who I'd usually talk to, but as he's Indian, I suppose I make an exception. He's a really nice person. I don't think he's a harmful person. He sends me most of the time, he sends me quite optimistic stuff, and he shares pictures of himself and his work and stuff, and it's nice. And he's not looking for romance, I don't think. So from what I know, so it's all good, you know. And like I said, I made sure I told my other asexual Indian friend who I've known on Facebook for 4 or 5 years that he's not the right guy for me to be in a relationship with, and made it perfectly clear with him, even if he was over here, because, you know, I don't really know the guy. He doesn't share his secrets with me, even though I've known him. I probably will always have some sort of bond with him because we've known each other for ages. And he wrote a load of stuff out basically saying, oh, we'll always be really close friends and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, appreciate that. And that was the end of that, you know. I don't, again, you know, like I've always said, you cannot possibly end up in a relationship of your dreams if you're hankering after someone else. And that's what I find with a lot of Indian guys I come across, actually, specifically Indian guys. There's a lot of those have their heart for someone else, like usually their first true love, and that's it. They never ever kind of like can stop loving that person, even if it's a teenager. And it's like, I don't want to be with a guy like that either, right? And I can't be, I don't, you know, there's no point in them feeling that way about me if they live in a, you know, miles away. And also, it's, you know, I always believe it's not fair, like, to hanker after the wrong person and give your love or feelings and emotions, knowing they're really intense and a lot, to someone else when the right person won't come along. It's not good. It's not healthy. So I think it's better to like keep other, you know, romance wise, to keep a lot of other Indian guys at bay. But because this guy isn't 100% my aesthetic type of Indian guy, and he is a little bit different to what I'm used to, maybe a little bit older as well to what I'd be used to, maybe late 20s, then it makes it easier for me to just be friends with him. It doesn't make me as hyper romantic. Like, you know, I don't experience any platonic attraction anyway, so you know that I always have some little attraction or a lot of Indian guys. You know what I'm like. But yeah, so yeah, it helps. It does really help, because it's like, okay, I'm not feeling hyper romantic over this guy. I'm thinking I really enjoyed our conversation. I'm thinking, wow, he must really like me to spend about 3 hours messaging me, and he genuinely is interested in talking to me. And I feel very fortunate and like that. But like I said, I don't even know if we would be suitable anyway for a relationship. But I just think it's nice that he wants to be my friend. Like I said, I've always wanted to get more Indian asexual guys as friends in the UK anyway. It's going to be very good for me. And I could never be with someone in a relationship I don't know really well anyway. So I just think it's nice. He's intelligent to talk to. I get the sense that he's a very warm person. I feel warm when I talk to him. So I'm not feeling this, like, in comparison to the other Indian guy who I really, really liked the other day, and I felt kind of intense hyper-romanticism over very soon, the one in Canada, if I'm honest, then that was kind of like a bit soul-destroying for me. And so that was really, really difficult for me, you know? So that was really hard. But, you know, it's not his fault. It's just the way it is for me, being a hyper-romantic who doesn't, you know, experience any platonic attraction, which is very rare for asexuals. So that wasn't his fault, and, you know, but it's not good for me. It's not healthy for me. So this is a healthier type of friendship, you know, because I know that I'm not hyper-romantic over this guy, that, you know, if he decides to walk away, he decides to walk away. And that's what I thought to myself when I was like really nervous. I thought, I'll just spill everything out that I'm interested in a relationship. And if he walks away or decides not to talk to me, or is shocked or can't deal with it, he'll just leave my life. Because a guy who's not meant to be in my life, he will be repulsed by all that stuff. He'll be like, oh God, I don't want to find a soulmate. I just met this girl. What the hell is she talking about? And he'll bolt and he'll run away from me. So this is what we have to do when we're dating. We have to push away the people that are no good for us and cross them off our list. And then the people that are good, potential good for us, they will stay in our lives if they really genuinely like us, right? This is what I always say, like, dating, relationships, even friendships to a certain extent, is a numbers game. I know it sounds very clinical, but it's like the more people you talk to, the more chance you've got of finding your person. And I did tell him, he asked me, after he read everything I said, there was a huge long silence for at least 5 minutes, yeah? Might have been 10. And so I was like really, really worried. I'm like, oh my God, okay. But I thought maybe I should just message him and say, you know, give you some time to think about it because it's a lot to take in. Or should I just wait for him to reply? But I was eating food at the time, and I thought, I'm not losing anything by sat here waiting a bit because I'm eating anyway. So then he did say, oh, I see. And I'm like, what does that mean? And so he said he agreed with me on a bit of stuff, which was, you know, major deal breakers, which was no marriage and kids or sex, which was great. And he likes to sleep in his own bed, and he likes Disney stuff, and he likes Nando's. So this was all good. This was really, really good. I'm not sure about the rest of it. He does like holding hands and cuddling. He does like kissing, but I don't think he's quite into it like I am. Or hasn't maybe had the experiences like I have of kissing. So yeah, so, you know, it's really, really interesting. Obviously, I can't say anything about private stuff we discussed. I wouldn't do that. So I've just told you anything that I think I'm able to tell you, that's general stuff about what we've got in common, you know, and how I personally feel, you know. So, you know, I think he's a nice person from what I've seen and from the way he speaks to me. And yeah, so I think that's really good. But as I say before as well, you have to see if these people are persistent and consistent, right? There's a lot of people you talk on to asexual dating sites, ASAP, you know, different places, and they just stop talking to you without a reason, right? You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm in conversation with 3 different people. 2 are British as far as I know, and the Indian guy, right? but eventually they might stop. But if they do, it doesn't matter, because I still love my single life anyway. I'm still going to go out and enjoy my life. I'm still having a great time. I love writing books. I'm really busy with my career this year anyway. And, you know, I do have relationship anxiety specifically, you know, so that's kind of like really difficult for me anyway. And so I, you know, and with good, you know, good reason as well. But it's better, like, you know, to not get into a relationship hastily anyway. As we all know, that doesn't do us any good, and it isn't healthy, because you can't really know a person in that amount of time. So it's best to keep your heart safe and your mind protected too, and just enjoy life being single and enjoy talking to different types of people. And the one person who is meant to be your person, if you're just looking for one person, will come along. They will find you, know. And the good news about this as well with this Indian guy is I know I'm one step closer to finding the right Indian guy for me, whether he's it or not. You know, I'm not saying he is. You know, we are different in some ways, and I'm not sure if that would be good for a relationship. Some of our differences, I'm not sure. If anything could be worked out with that, I'm not sure. So if we went down that route. But I want to say now that I am so happy I've met an Indian guy who doesn't want marriage, doesn't think it's good to have a contract and have marriage, as well as not wanting kids. And he's like, oh, there are other Indian guys on the spectrum that are more conservative than, you know, and the basically, you know, there's guys who are Indian guys that don't want that type of thing, you know. So this gives me hope, because pretty much every Indian guy I spoke to wants marriage. It's like, I'm really not up for that. I'm really not. But like I said, I do want Indian guys more westernized, really. That's why I need to find one in the UK anyway. Do you know what I mean? Already here with his own visa and a good job, you know. So that's what I mean. Every time I meet an Indian guy, it's like I'm one step closer. Like with the last two Indian guys, it was like they're really, really, really into kissing. Like, well, first one, probably he was a little bit too much on the grey end of the asexual spectrum for me. The second guy recently, he was perfect in the sense of kissing, not because he smoked. I can't kiss a smoker. And he was really, really nice person to talk to. He's in his early 20s. So I always get more attracted quicker, I think, to guys who are younger, like 21 to 24, because that's kind of the age group I would usually go for mostly, aesthetically and romantically, particularly aesthetically. So that was good, because it made me know that there's guys who love kissing as much as me that are Indian. And then this guy, now I know that there are Indian guys out there, because don't forget, I was only saying on this channel, there must be one asexual Indian guy in the UK who doesn't want sex or kids or marriage. And I'm like, yay, he shows up. I don't know if he is the actual one for me, but I'm aiming to be in a relationship with. But I know there's at least one now, which is great news. It means I'm one step closer to finding my soulmate. And the guy asked me, he's like, oh, why an Indian guy? And I'm like, oh my Lord. I just felt like saying, read my asexual perspectives book. Yeah, because in this book, I do talk about my Indian soulmate guy. And just watch my channel, because I must have mentioned it like 55,000 times on my channel. But I didn't say those words. I did say they're going to find it out anyway, because it's in my book. But yeah, basically, I've known since 2014 I have a soulmate who I believe's Indian and asexual, you know. Well, I do have an Indian soulmate who I believe is asexual, I said. So, you know, I'll do whatever it takes to find him. And I will carry on till I find him, because I know he exists. And I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm not that, you know, I'm not actively pursuing guys like I was before. And I, you know, but I always know in my heart of hearts I do want to be with an Indian guy. I don't think I'd be happy with any other guy long term, because I think I should be with an actual Indian guy, the right Indian guy though. It can't just be any Indian guy, you know what I mean? So it's very, very important that you do actually keep going for your goals, ambitions and dreams. Keep believing that your person's out there. You know, I know asexuals who've got their asexual love, and they are so in love, and they are so happy, the happiest they've ever been in their life. And I know these are friends of mine, you know, and so I know it's possible. I know absolutely it's possible. And one of my friends, he's in his late 50s and his fiance's in her early 20s, you know, so I know it's possible, even with a age gap. I mean, that's a bigger age gap than I would usually go for. because I'm a lot younger than that myself. So, but you know, it really works, and they are so in love, and he adores his younger fiance, and they are so in love. And one of my friends last year, they married their asexual fiance. They live together. So it's just incredible. So don't give up hope. You know, on this channel, I don't really give up, you know, but I was a bit like, oh, here he is, like, here, splurt everything out. I thought, if he's going to run away, he's going to run away after he's heard all that. And if he doesn't run away, it gives me some hope. You know, if he runs away, anyway, I think if a guy runs away, it's their loss. It's not yours. It's their loss. Or if they can't be with you for some whatever excuse or whatever, or a genuine reason that they don't want to live in the country you live in, I think that's fair enough, you know. You have to know they're not your guy. They're not your person if you're attracted to a different gender. Always remember that the person who's not your person, for whatever reason, is not your person. They're not your person. You know, like, the right person will stay with you. The right person will want to keep communicating with you. The right person will want to develop and grow the friendship. The right person will want to video chat with you. The right person will want to talk to you on the phone. The right person will want to come and see you and spend time with you in person. The right person will want to make you part of their life every single day. That's what the right person will want to do. You know, my friends, my best asexual friends, they're in my life pretty much almost my best friend Sam, they're pretty much every day. We usually talk the majority of the time. It's very rare we don't. And then my other best friend Andy, you know, we message quite a bit as well most days, probably just a tiny little bit less. But you know, it's so wonderful to have asexual best friends. So if I get that with my best friend, I'm not going to want any less than a relationship, you know. And when you've got really good quality friends that keep in contact with you like that, that really care about you, appreciate you, love you for who you are, you know then that you've got these really high standards that are achievable, ongoing basis, year after year, that are not out of reach. So therefore you have higher standards for a person who's going to be your potential partner, or other friends that might come along, people who might be your potential friends, you know, rather than just a person you call your friend on Facebook, actually become a genuine friend. So it's very, very important that you know and understand. Don't water down your needs. You know, don't think, oh, I'm too specific in what I like. I know what I like in a relationship. I know what I want. Will I get all of it? Probably not all of it. But if I'm very specific about what I want in a relationship, then obviously I'm more likely to get what I want, aren't I? People who go too broad, they end up with rubbish coming in. You know, it's interesting that all the 3 people I've spoke to lately, they've all been people that I approached as well. And they're all higher quality guys as well, who've actually got their life together and doing things, you know, and know kind of where they're going, where they're at, and got their own hobbies and interests, which aren't like sexual, which is great. And, you know, it's just really, really good. You know, really good. So I wanted to like say, you know, like I was nervous, I was shaking. I don't usually get like that, and it's because of the reality that I actually possible to meet this person in real life, which kind of freaks me out a little bit. Not freaks me out because they're not a nice person, but you just like, just in case they did like me more than a friend and want a relationship. I know that sounds really weird because it's long term, it's what I want. But then a part of me so used to being on my own and being single, it gets a bit scary, as I'm sure you understand. And I don't want to get with the wrong person. And you know, because when you get with the person, you do become somewhat emotionally attached to them. It's just what happens, even if you wished you didn't, you know, you do. And so I don't want to be emotionally attached to the wrong person in a relationship, you know. So I think you have to protect your heart. I think you have to look after yourself. And there are a lot of benefits to being single, you know, a lot of benefits, you know, and go out clubbing, do what I want when I want, kiss who I want. It's great. So it was a good thing. But yeah, like I said, if the right person eventually comes along, then, you know, and I know they're worth giving up my single life for, if you know what I mean, then, you know, it would be different. But time will tell. But, you know, for me, like the reality of the situation that this guy actually has taken genuine interest in me it's just kind of like, whoa. And he lives in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Because it's possible to meet. But, you know, I'm not going to instigate the meeting up anyway. I mean, I have said I hold meetups in the UK of Exeter, but he said nothing about that because he lives in London. So I did actually mention it before we got talking more in depth. But you know what I mean? I don't want to be the one who instigates. I find he's a little bit manly in a good way, actually. I find he leads things a little bit, which is nice. I do like that. You know, I don't want to be instigating all the time and leading things. Just gets ridiculous. So yeah, I think that's good. Anyway, did you ever enjoy coitus, or were you always asexual? I don't know what you mean by that because it's not a word I've ever heard of. I was always asexual but didn't realize it. If you watched my video recently I did about signs you are asexual from a young age, then you'll understand why. Does asexuality have an anxiety component? Asexuality in and of itself doesn't have an anxiety component, but a lot of asexuals do experience anxiety because obviously we're different to the rest of the world. We're 1% of the population, so probably a bit more than that. But recorded 1% of the population, might even be 2 or 3%, I think. So it's not the fact that asexuality has an anxiety component, it doesn't. Asexuality is literally a sexual orientation by someone who experiences no sexual attraction. So we don't get the need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse. That's it. Whether someone has anxiety who's asexual is just a person's own personality or experiences. Like you can get a person who's sexual, heterosexual, who has an anxious personality, who suffers with anxiety. You can have someone who's homosexual that has anxiety. You can have someone who's pansexual who has anxiety. You can have someone who's bisexual that has anxiety. Anxiety's got nothing to do with the sexual orientation. It's just that some asexuals have anxiety, and some of times it's because we are different. So it's not our sexuality, but it's a fact we're different, and we've had experiences in life where it's been difficult for us sometimes because we haven't been accepted by society. But I don't get anxious about being asexual. I love being asexual. It's great. I absolutely adore it. You know, I just have anxiety personally for a lot of years, but I don't have it as much as I used to. I can do a lot of things now I couldn't before. Which has, nothing to do with being asexual. In sexual orientation. But obviously, when you're different, you can be, people can not be quite nice to you sometimes. But I haven't had too many bad experiences with my asexual. I didn't even know I was asexual to 2014. So, it's not like I've had any bad experiences knowing I was asexual before then, because I haven't. So, but you can get an anxiety no matter what sexuality you are, So, I just have relationship anxiety because I'm used to being on my own quite a lot. And I want to be in a good relationship if I end up in a relationship, So, yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy because what I said before on this channel about, dating now is the best time because you're more likely to be able to speak to people online that are usually working. But I have to make it clear as well, you want to monitor that, because when this situation's over, people are going back to work. You want to see if these people keep in touch with you. So if you're doing online dating and you've been talking to someone for a while and they go back to work, all of a sudden they disappear because they're like, oh, I'm too busy now. Yeah, I'm working a full day. I haven't got time to talk to you. Oh, I'm too tired after I come back from work. I'm working from home, right? And I'm really busy, right? I do a lot of hours, but I don't go around saying, oh, I haven't got time for anyone. So I do have to, oh, hi, Heather. Lots of love to you. Nice to see you. But I do, I do make time for my friends, but they do have to schedule times in to Skype me and also to phone me because I've got such a hectic schedule, so you have to understand that if you're doing dating, whatever sexual orientation you are, and then then the person, people that you're speaking to, all over a sudden, when it's going back to work, they're not interested in talking to you, haven't got time for you. Then, it's just like they weren't being genuine. They were just using you while they're bored and quiet. So that's the only danger of online dating at the moment, is some people might be using you because they're bored or tired. They got nothing. Their life's not as full, because obviously when they're working loads of hours, like one of the indie guys I spoke to in India, he was then revealing, oh yeah, like basically I work 12 or 14-hour days. It was 8 in the morning till 10 at night, so that's 14 hours normally. And I'm thinking, well, great. So when you go back to work, you wouldn't really have any time for me anyway to talk to me. Do you know what I mean? So, oh, Fiola, hello, I haven't seen you for ages. It's really, really nice. Really, really nice to see you. How are you doing, Fiola? How are you doing? So, I've done most of this live stream now. But yeah, so just stay very positive where dating is concerned, and use this time wisely to to date more, but be very cautious that these people could disappear on you again when they go back to work. Oh, Thiola, yes, there was a Moroccan guy, I think he was using me. I'm still not well. Oh, Thiola. Eek. I'm so sorry to hear that. Didn't you have some respiratory problem before? A long time ago. Like, I hope you're okay. He stopped. I told him I don't trust him. Yeah. If he stopped talking to you, just don't trust a guy like that. You don't want a guy who's using you. And if the guy's not in your country anyway, the likelihood of you ever meeting them is next to zero. These people, a lot of them want visas, unfortunately, or they're just bored. I mean, I was on ASAP the other day and a guy messaged me. He uses older women for visa. Ah, yeah. Remember, just because you're older women doesn't mean to say you're not beautiful. Always remember that. I felt so hurt. Yeah, it's not personally you. A lot of the foreign guys do it. Although I love foreign guys from the bottom of my heart, I do. I know what a lot of them are like on the online dating scene, right? And I'm sorry he did that to you. But what you do up front is you say, I'm not interested in marriage. I tell every foreign guy, I'm not interested in marriage. I'm not interested in marriage. And a lot of them, they'll go, oh, well, I'm not. And the next minute, in the next sentence, I'll be like, oh, why don't you want marriage? So clearly they are. I'll be like, because I don't believe in it. I actually don't believe in it. I mean, it works for my parents. They've been married like 51 years, but I don't believe in it for me. I don't want that. And I will never do that. Because they want someone for visa. Just tell them straight away, I'm not interested in marriage. I don't do marriage. I'm not interested. So I'll go off and find someone else then. And if they're in another country, they can't get a visa to the UK. I don't know which country you live in. If you live in the UK, I can't remember. But a lot of them cannot get into the UK. And, the government are just making it tighter and tighter over here. But the men make me feel not beautiful. They say you have beautiful nature, but not attracted to me. They always reject me. They're just being narcissistic. It's horrible. I mean, for a start, there are some guys, especially on the asexual spectrum, that are not actually interested in the looks as much. It's all about the personality. And a lot of them are pan-romantic. But in the same time, if they're not attracted to you, why are they even bothering to talk to you if you're interested in being in a relationship with them? Tell them to get lost, You live in the UK like me. I'm so sorry I hurt you. I can expect you're hurt. I know what it's like. I do know what it's like. I was talking earlier and saying about an Indian guy I met on the online in Canada. But he was honest. He said he's in Canada and staying there. He didn't want to move. So he definitely wasn't a user. He's a very nice guy. But yes, you should always love yourself. Always love yourself, Thiola. There are I tell you, I could get lots of sexual guys in the UK that love older women. I mean, really, some of them love much more older women than me. Than my birth certificate age. Much more older. So there are a lot of guys. There's even sites for cougars, women that's in their like 50s, 60s. And I have my best female friend, her other best female friend. She's a sexual cougar. She's 65, looks younger. And all the younger guys fancy, the younger guys have sex with her and stuff like that. So they definitely find older women attractive. So don't let guys say stuff like that to you, and reject them. So yeah, I'm looking. I even had someone on ASAP. I switched my phone off now, from Africa. And he's 20 something. He's like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" I said, "I'm good, thanks, but I'm looking for a guy already in the UK." That was it. And he's got loads of muscles. I'm not interested in muscles. They want hot type of women. Yeah, but you can be hot without like, look at me. Do I look like I go round with I've got an Eeyore top on, for goodness sake. I'm not like sticking my boobs out and stuff like that. I mean, guys fancy me without any flesh showing. It's all to do with confidence. That's what it's to do with. That's what actually a guy's attracted to. Having confidence in yourself and loving yourself and thinking, like, I don't even wear makeup. Look, I hardly ever wear makeup. Actually, I get more people, guys are clicking on my photograph with no makeup on than I do if I wear some makeup. You're the same like me, exactly, because we're naturally beautiful women. This is my real hair colour. I've never dyed my hair colour in my life. I've got all my full faculty of hair. Look, it's gorgeous. Whee! I love my hair. Whee! I play with my hair a lot. I've always liked my hair, and I'm not a skinny girl either. But some guys like a voluptuous figure, don't they, guys? Who's watching this now? You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the more you love yourself, the more you'll be confident and glowing, the more they'll be attracted to you. But, we don't want sexuals anyway. I can easily get sexuals. I can go to a nightclub when all this lockdown thing and safe thing's completely over. And yes, you're naturally beautiful. Oh, bless your heart. Lots of love to you. I mean, I can't fully see you, but I'm sure you're very naturally beautiful too. Because you've got such a gorgeous heart. I can tell that. And I'm really sorry they hurt you. They thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of guys that do that. They use older women for visa. I mean, one guy said to me, "Oh, I doubt a lot of these actual foreign guys would be interested in you if they were really over here, Sandra, because they just want a visa." And he was probably true on that, but it hurt a little bit, but it's probably true. But I mean, the guy I just started talking to, like the guys I've been talking to, like the 3 guys I mentioned in this video, one's 23, not interested in me romantically as far as I know, asexual UK. Another guy's 32, asexual UK, British, not interested in me romantically as far as I know. And the other guy's Indian. I think he's in his late 20s, but I don't know for definite. And he's in the UK. You know what I mean? So, but I'm hurt they make me feel low. They're the ones that are rubbish. Exactly. They are the ones that are rubbish. You hit the nail on the very big head. So don't let rubbish make you feel hurt. Put them in the trash where they belong. Because they're trash. Like you said, they are rubbish. They're trash. They asked me do you want to marry me? F me. Oops, sorry. Yeah. I get guys, right, in sexual groups on Facebook, because I'm still on some sexual groups on Facebook. They come and goes, "I'm looking for marriage." I go, "That's nice for you. Good luck with that. Bye." I usually block them. I get it all the time. Oh, I get one guy. He came from a group. He goes, "You have to marry me. You have to get me out of my country. You should be helping me." I'm like, oh my Lord. He's actually writing to me like that. They ask me, "Do you like F?" Oh. I said to him to F off. Yeah, exactly. So yes, I love to tell you to F off, mate. Block. Oh, they're disgusting. That's why I don't really ever want to be with a sexual guy. I mean, I'm considering someone on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, but that's been pushing it. Because a lot of the time, even those on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, even a lot of the time, those guys are too much for me. They're just too. They want hands all over me. It's like, excuse me, this is my private bits. I like to, like I look much better clothed with a nice Eeyore top on that's cute than taking my clothes off. Thank you very much. It's like, I want to look at Eeyore. I want to feel my glitter. I want to, what I mean? Like, look at this glitter. Look at this cuteness. This is much better to look at than the naked body. Much, much better, you know? I'd rather see a guy with some Disney pajamas on than any nudity. I'd be like, you know, what pajamas are you wearing tonight? Are you wearing like bear pajamas? You know, like pictures of bears on there? Are you wearing like Toy Story pajamas? Are you wearing any nice stuff like that? No, I'm wearing nothing. I'm like, oh, put some pajamas on. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd rather see a guy in nice, like sort of cartoony pajamas than I would see him in the nod. And I'm young, you know. I want young pajamas on a guy. I don't want him to be blooming wearing granddaddy pajamas. No offense to granddads. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like, no, I'm nudity repulsed. I think guys look much better with their clothes on. I think anyone looks much better with their clothes on. Me, I look much better with my clothes on. Theola, they said, have you got money? I come and care for you. It's to use me. He asked me, have you got a friend who is 22? I see he stopped chatting to him because I told him you're a scammer. Ah. Oh God. Yeah, they want money to get over there. Just I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm kind of used to these guys by now, sadly, so I know what their game is, but it's really horrible. Because after a while you get used to what they say and stuff, and I just like I tell someone even before they even talk to me now, usually, not interested in marriage. Or I'm not interested in sex. They've just said hi. I'm like, I'm not interested in sex. Before they've even asked me any questions. I have 85 friend requests from Morocco, but not responded to them. Oh my God. Yeah, I delete a lot of my friends' requests, so I'll keep them on there just so I know who's friend requested me. But yeah, I had a guy who's Indian married the other day on Facebook. I don't know if I've got my phone. Where did I put my phone? Oh, that's where I put my phone. And it was like, why on earth? My puppy. It's like, why on earth? But this guy, I'm sick of them. I bet you are, Theola. You don't want anyone in Morocco for a relationship anyway, because they can't get their ass over here and actually have a visa and be working. And don't let them on to con you with this question. Oh, please, can you help me to get into the UK? I'm quite willing to come there. Can you tell me what to do? Where do I need to go? What information do I need? Can you help me, please? It's like if you want to get into the UK, you effing do it yourself, mate. I'm not here to be your mother. I'm not here to do things for you. Go and do it yourself. You know, there are people, foreign guys, that come to this country of their own accord, and they work damn hard for it. And I applaud all those guys that do that, because I know there's a guy in my city who's Egyptian who we had this meeting. He didn't call it a date, so I don't know what the heck it was. It was a past video did. But he said, I'm not asexual and he couldn't live without sex. So that was that, you know. But he told me how hard he worked to get into the UK and how difficult it was. There are guys that can do it. Yes, they want help. Yeah, yes, they want help. Yes, help me. I said, I can't help you. Exactly. Do it himself. Exactly. I say the same thing to all the guys usually. If I'm in a really generous mood, if I really like the guy, I'll say, look, without marriage, and I'm definitely not getting married, you have the option to get a student visa and come and study in the country. Unfortunately, most of these guys are too old to go back to study. So they'll be like, oh, I can't do that. I've already studied. And they haven't got the money to come over here. Do you know, in the UK, in my city of Exeter, a few years ago, I was friends with someone, and £16,000 for 1 year it was to study in my city. £16,000, and that was a few years ago. Like, I think it was 1 or 2 years ago. That's per year. Someone's usually here for 3 years. So unless you're watching this and you've got this type of money, or your parents can pay for you to come over, and you can get a job while you're here and a visa of your own while you're here, and stay for at least 5 years of your own accord working in this country with the right visa, then you're not going to be able to stay here. I'm outspoken. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm blooming outspoken because I get sick of it. You know, sick of it. Imagine if I was saying, oh, I want to go to America, or I want to go to Australia. Oh, let's just message tons of people and basically sponge off them and go, oh yeah, can you get me a visa? Can you tell me where I can get a job? Can you give me a job? Can you give me a job? This is what I get as well. Exactly. They ask you for a job. They go, hi dear. I'm like, hi. And they start asking you for a job. They're like, oh, some of them ask me out, right? And some of them trying to creep around it. So they use you for jobs as well. It's like, I don't have a job for anyone. I'm a solopreneur, right? And I don't have the money to bring anyone to this country. And why would I want to anyway when I can get some in this country? And I don't want to be with a guy who can't get here of his own accord. If there's a guy out there and he wants to travel halfway around the world for the woman he loves, he'll do it. I know foreign people who have travelled halfway around the world or more to be with the woman they love. They haven't expected her to do it. I said to them, I'm not, or I would help. I just tell them I'm not. I tell them right, out marriage, you get a student visa. Here's the HMRC website. Go on that. I even, sometimes I give them the page, which has all the list of sponsorship jobs. Did you know that? There's about 2,000 sponsorship jobs in the UK, but you have to be specialised in things like nursing or marketing. You have to have qualifications from your own country that are transferable to the UK. If you haven't got them, you need to work your ass off and go and get them in your own country before you can even get over here in the UK, right? So you need to be going to a sponsorship, a place that will either HMRC for sponsorship jobs, or be a student, or you get a work transfer. Those are the three ways about marriage. So anyone who's listening to this now, because I know I have foreigners listening to me, right? And yes, I know I'm raising my voice a bit because I am absolutely very not happy for Theola, because I don't like people using people. I really don't like being used myself, but I don't like it when friends like Theola are used. Like, me and Theola haven't met in person, but I know she's a kind person. I know from speaking to her, right? And I don't want people using people because I get sick of it, right? So student, you can become a student. If you get accepted and you have the money, you can get a sponsorship through HMRC website. There's about 2,000 that you need to look through regularly. Oh my God, it means some work. It means you've got to actually get off your ass, and you've actually got to spend hours trawling through HMRC website month after month after month, right? Yes, it means work, because I get sick of people that like sponging off other people. I'm very, very, very not happy about this. And I do not like being used, but I specifically don't like Theola being used. What job can you get? A job in Bachelor of Arts. They can do loads. Like, there's a Indian guy in my city. He is studying engineering. He has a job at Nando's. He's about 18 or 19 years old. He was in the club that I went to. If an 18 or 19-year-old Indian guy can get himself over here in my city and can get himself an actual food restaurant job, I'm sure blooming guy later in his 20s or 30s can do it. You know what I mean? It's because you're too lazy, or you don't have the qualifications. If you don't have the qualifications, you really want it bad enough, and you don't want to sponge off someone, go and get the qualifications. If it doesn't work out, it's not meant to be, is it? Just drives me up the wall. Thank you, Sandra. I love you. I know, because I'm very, very feisty sometimes, but I don't care. It needs to be said, because I absolutely get sick of it. There are genuine foreign guys out there. And I think it's just disgusting, the amount of people trying to take advantage of other people. And I will speak out about it, because it's not nice. And they try and use asexuals a lot. Do you know why? Because they think we can't get anyone else. That's why they do it. They think we can't get anyone else. So, I've had a lot of guys going, I'll be with you. As much as say you can't get anyone else because everyone else wants sex. I'll be with you. I'm the best you're going to get. It's like, no, you're not the effing best I'm going to get, because I'm better off being single and staying single forever than being with an idiot like that. Your man is coming. Thanks, Yola. he'll see this video like, better not get on the wrong side of her. I'm an angel, really. But yes. So, something I don't like. I'm really sorry for you. I'm really angry for you, and it's disgusting. But I wanted to just let people know those are the three ways to get into the UK. I've said it a million times. So if you watch this channel, to repeat for those guys who are not already in the UK, right, to get in this country, do not marry for a visa. Do not sponge off women, because would you sponge off your own mother? I don't think so, so don't do it to someone else. Don't use women, right, for sex, visa, or job. Forget it. You're not a man if you're doing that. You're not a strong person. You're a weak person who does that, and disgusting, right? Go and get yourself the training in your country to have the qualifications, go and get the money, save it up, do online marketing, find out what you need to do, and then you can study in the UK, or you can get a sponsorship job in the UK if you go on HMRC and have the right qualifications, which is usually nursing or marketing, something like that. Go on there beforehand. Go on HMRC. That means work. It means you've got to click a mouse button. Oh my gosh. And you've actually got to print off pages with thousands of sponsorship jobs. It's a hard life, isn't it? Right? And then, or you get a job in another country where you are now, and you specifically ask at your interview, does this have any branches in the UK that I am able to transfer to in the future, and how long would that take? Because I'm interested in moving in the future, but I'm very interested in working for you. This is what you do, right? Takes intelligence a little bit, and it takes work. Well done, Sandra. That's it. Yeah, I know mine is coming because I feel his presence in my, but I don't know who it is. Oh, Theola, of course your person's coming. All these times make us stronger, Theola, right? We have to have these morons and reject them. Yeah, we have to reject them, remember? They're the ones who are trying to bring trash into our life. So you just put it in the garbage, dispose of it, get rid of it, and there it's gone. I know it hurts, you know? It does hurt, right? But at the end of the day, I know it's going to hurt. You know, I know I have to go through tears and upset and pain. I was thinking about this today, like with I've spoken to this Indian guy in the UK. I thought, you know, like all the tears I cry, all the pain, all the agony of not finding my right soulmate Indian guy, you know, it'll be worth it in the end, right? It will be worth it to find the right person, because when we're with the wrong person, the right person cannot come along. And I wasted a lot of my previous life with the wrong guys, a lot of my previous life. And I do not want to meet and do that again. Yeah, reject them. They are rubbish. Exactly, Theola. They're rubbish. It's not you, it's them. I know it just hurts because me and you are very kind people. Even though I'm a bit like, rah, we are very, very kind people, and it does hurt, you know. And I get raw today because I am raw today. You know, I don't like you being hurt. And you know, maybe they'll actually have a brain cell and listen to me. Maybe, just maybe, for 1 second, you know. But you know, I've told them if they actually genuinely want to come over here, they'll make it happen. I believe you make anything happen in your life. It's up to you to do it. Whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you make it happen. It's worth it. I see it for you. It's soon. You just wait a bit longer. Yeah. I just keep waiting, Fiona. I keep being patient. I have to be patient, you know. At the end of the day, I do love my single life, and it's like I've got to be ready for when the guy does show up, because I might be too busy with my single life by then. Do you know what I mean? It's very important as well, you know. And I decided, you know, that I am gonna once everything's safer, which might not be till end of this year, beginning of next, or whenever, you know, then I will go out clubbing and kiss some foreign guys when it's safe to do so. Obviously, it's not going to be safe to do so for a very long time. It could be well into next year, you know, because I'm happy doing my career stuff at the moment anyway. And I've got a lot to achieve this year. A lot. I've got a lot of fears that I've got to overcome to do some new stuff that's going to be very, very difficult for me to do and stuff like that. Yeah, if a man will love me, he would come. Exactly, Theola. If a guy loves a woman, he will travel the world for her. I have a guy who I think I've mentioned on this channel before. He's 80s, I think it is, and he got married. He moved to Australia. He actually did get married, but he was the UK, and he went to marry a girl who's 39 years old in Austria, I think it is. He moved over there. So he originally was a UK citizen. He went and lived in Spain. He's been divorced, and then he was 81 or something when he got married. He was older than her dad. And they live together, and he gets on really well with the dad, and they have a couple of cats. Do you know what I mean? There's another blogging friend I have, and he moved to the Philippines. And he moved over there and got married to the woman in the Philippines. You don't have to get married, but they wanted to get married, both those sets of people. But, you know, they didn't. And my blogging friend who moved to the Philippines, he said, if you want a guy to come to UK, if you were paying for it yourself, it'd be about £70,000 to get a guy to come to the UK and pay for him. I'm like, oh wow, I wish someone would do that for us. Yeah, but I don't want marriage, you see. So if the guy was to come over of his own accord, get his own job, his own home, near to where I live, not want sex, marriage or kids, then I'll be really happy. But I don't want him to come over and expect to get married, because I ain't doing that. Do you know what I mean? It's not happening. So yeah, but I do know there's I do know, you know, I've got a friend who actually runs a shop. I say to my friend because I've talked to him quite a bit, and he's married, very faithful guy, actually. One of the few foreign guys I actually know is very faithful to his wife, because I know his wife's been away sometimes. I've seen him in the city and he's always on his own. And he's very, very in love with his wife. There's few foreign guys I actually meet, like in this country, right? There's foreign guy security guards. And I know they've even told me that one of them was married in my last job, and he was going. He moved to a different place to work, and he was telling me. I said, "Oh, how are you?" He's going, "Oh, it's great. You know, these women, they come and give them their number in the supermarket. I go and have sex with them, then go home to my wife." It's just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. This is a married man. I don't know if he married for a visa. It's highly likely. I don't really like normal marriage and kids. I don't know why. I used to, maybe because I'm older now. I've never wanted kids since I was 15. I'm too young for that. It's not about being older. It's like, I'm too young. I am the kid. There's no room for more. I've always known that. Like, since 15 years old, I always know I physically don't want kids. And I thought if I did ever have kids, it would be adopted. But I pretty much decided the year I was 15 that I wasn't going to do that either, because I don't want that lifestyle. It's because I'm so young. Oh no, disgusting. Yeah, it's disgusting the security guard did that. Yeah, there are a lot of guys that are married. I mean, this was the guy I was going to read out to you on Facebook, right? This guy that connected with me. Where is it? Oh, my friends messaged me. I have to message them out. They're gone to sleep now anyway. That's one of my best friends done that, so that's okay. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, where is he? This bloke. Right, this bloke, I couldn't believe this bloke, right? This is on Facebook. Exactly. I'm too young. I don't ever want kids. I'm like the kid in the relationship. I want to go to theme parks, zoos, aquariums. I want to be dancing. I mean, I've got laser lights going on there, which you can't even see. Like these disco lights. I had the one over there a while ago, and I'm pumping out some some foreign music. I've been listening to foreign music nearly all the time, and writing my Asexual Guide to Sex book. Oh, after messaging that Indian guy for 3 hours. I have to say, the nice one in the UK, who I was very nervous about. And I said I was nervous about talking to him because he's actually in the UK. That's what the whole video type was about. But my hands were shaking, actually telling him the truth that I like Indian guys, and I've got oh, you get me, bless you. So so this guy actually has a mutual friend. He messaged me on Thursday saying, "Hello, how are you?" So I said, this is on Facebook, I said, "Hi, how do we know each other?" And he said, "Oh, thanks for accepting." I never accepted his friend's request. That is something else they do. You send a friend request to someone, you try and work out how you know them, saying, "I don't know you," and they say, "Thanks for accepting," because that's an actual sales technique. Okay, I'll tell you that now. They give you this, they give you this sales technique, right? The sales technique is when you say thank you for accepting a friend's request, and the person hasn't already. The person's then supposed to feel obliged to accept that friend's request. It's marketing psychology and sales, right? So even in private message, people are trying to sell you stuff, right? I learn a lot about psychology, marketing, and selling, because obviously I work with entrepreneurs, and I've been studying entrepreneurship and marketing since 2012, and I continue to do so to this day. I'm studying more stuff about that this year. And so when he said thank you for accepting, I didn't actually accept his friend's request. I mean, I did actually accept speaking to him on here, but he said, "Oh," I said, "How do we know each other?" And he said, "Thank you for accepting." He said, "I just saw you on Facebook and thought to be friends." And then I put, "I haven't added you as a friend because I don't know you. I usually add people I know in some way." And he's like, "It's fine, take care, we can know each other. Well, then you can add me as you wish. This is such and such from India, 45 years old. How about you?" And it's like, you know, how about you? It's like, why do I want to speak to this guy? I said, "I'm busy at the moment," right? This married guy just carried on, right? I told him I'm busy at the moment. Look how ignorant. I'm going to block him in a minute, but look how ignorant this is. I'm busy at the moment, I said. Right? Just your name, age, and location. Why the F does he need to know my name, age, and location when he's 45 in India and married? And I don't know this guy. Give me your name, age, and location. I'm married. Take care. Thank you for your time of value. Are you married? Take care. Why is he asking me my name, my age, location, and if I'm married, if he's married? And I put, I'm not interested. And he put, it's okay. Then he messaged me again. Saturday morning, how are you? Take care. Right, now I'm going to block him. I just wanted to keep that on there because I'm going on his profile on Facebook and I'm going to block this guy because there's no way I want to be speaking to a married man and it's just disgusting. You know? Block him. It's disgusting. Don't like these people. It's like, go, why do you want to know my name, age, and location and if I'm married or not? F off. Do you know what I mean? To be quite frank with you, Sola, your man is Indian who's coming. Yeah, I know he is. Wow, your man is going to really love you. The one who is coming, wow, believe. I had enough of them. Yeah, oh, yeah. I do believe my Indian guy's coming. He knows I'm strong. I'm a strong girl. He knows what I want, won't take rubbish. But it's important to not take rubbish from people, you know? It's important to stick up for yourself. It's important to be strong, you know? I always have a very, like I was shy earlier to message that Indian guy in the UK and shaking, really shy. I was like blushing even. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think I was blushing. I was blushing earlier when I was talking about that. But I was definitely shaking and I was like so nervous. I said in my message, I'm shaking right now and shy. Because it's like, I have to tell an Indian guy who's actually in the UK who's asexual, who's obviously interested in me a little bit more than a friend, but I like Indian guys and he doesn't know me. That was very, very nerve-wracking for me to do. I can get really shy like a little girl. Because I'm a little girl, aren't I? In a nice way, not in a way. Yeah, you had enough of them, Fiola. Block. Yeah, it's important to block these people, right? I'm not interested in talking to married guys, right? Of course, there might be some situations in business where I need to speak to a married guy for business, right? That's a bit different, as long as it's strictly business, right? Because I do talk to some people who are in relationships, obviously, or married in business, because you have to. Do you know what I mean? You have to work business to business sometimes. But there's a very, very big difference between talking to someone for business and some random stranger who wants to know if I'm married and what my age and location is. I thought, yeah, probably you want a blooming visa, really. Probably not even married. Which, you know, I think he's married because he said he was married. But at the end of the day, why are you messaging me? Some of them are married and they still want a visa. They're willing to leave their wife to go abroad in the UK for a better life. I've had that one as well. So be very, very careful of that one. Oh, yes, I know the tricks of the trade. I should write a book on this one day. The tricks of the trade. To do with, you know, like what they say online. Oh, he said, yeah, my soulmate, I believe, is asexual and Indian. The guy I met today is on the asexual spectrum. The more great end of it, I think. Yeah. So, but yeah, he's definitely asexual. I don't believe. So I'm going to pull water. I don't think he is. I don't think he's like heterosexual because I think if he was hetero, I think he's asexual, but I don't think he's heterosexual because I can't see me being trusting a heterosexual ever again fully. Not in that way, you know. But I'll just wait and be patient. He'll show up one day, I'm sure. One day. But yeah, so just remember, Thiola, these people, and unfortunately, there's a lot of shocks that we have to go through to find our prince. But we'd best be a princess for ourselves. That's what I think. I do think I'm like a princess sometimes. I'm like, yeah, you're like a princess, Sandra. Especially with this t-shirt, nightshirt on. Look at that. This is a princess nightshirt. Woo! I love being a princess in my own right. And it's good to have your own party. Like, I've been playing laser lights and have foreign music on nearly all the time. I'm doing my editing of asexual stories. I've got a lot of work to do, prep for getting my 2 asexual courses launched this week. So I've still got training to do for that. I'll be leaving the asexual sex stories and continue with it in about 8 days, 7 or 8 days time. Well, the 22nd, because this week I've got other work to do. Yeah, woohoo! So, but I do love it when I can play music, because when I'm doing the training videos, when I'm actually watching videos myself, I can't actually obviously play music then. You're a princess, thanks. I think it's important to be your own princess in life. Look, I've even got a castle on my bed. Disney! Disney, baby! Disney! Little chipmunks, they're so cute. So that's the type of relationship I want. A nice, cute relationship with Eeyore and Mickey. And lots of nice little chipmunks in a nice way, not any sexual way, just in case chipmunks refers to something sexual, which I'm sure it actually does somewhere along the line. And nice bright things. And look, even my picture, see that picture at the bottom? It's even got like little, the beach picture, it's even got little seagulls and caricatures in there. Yeah. Fiola, I will not put myself down if they make me feel less of a woman. No, don't put yourself down. Oh, you love Disney. No, the only reason they try and make you feel less is so that you'll give them what they want. It's a sales technique in a bad way. So with sales psychology and marketing and stuff, we do it all the time. We're selling ourselves, we're selling a concept, whether it's called marketing or not, right? And what happens is people use psychology a lot. And so what some guys do, I've had this done to me, is they'll say something to make you feel bad about yourself so that you basically do what they want. It's a manipulative, abusive, mind abusive technique. They make you feel really, really bad and low about yourself, so you give in to them and give them what they want. But you don't. You just walk away and block these people. You didn't know that? Yeah, they do it all the time. I had one guy. He was in my asexual groups. He was in a dating group. And I hadn't had any problem with him, right? But he was into kind of like some sexual stuff, which is a bit debatable. But some asexuals don't mind sexual acts, despite they don't want intercourse, right? So I thought, okay. And I didn't have any problems with him. But someone in one of my dating groups, this is a long time ago now. This is a couple of years ago, I think. And someone in one of my dating groups complained about him, saying that he was saying sexual stuff to them. So I hadn't actually had a problem with him like that. And then all of a sudden one day he started coming in my messenger, because we were friends on Facebook. He started coming in my messenger, and I think he was asking me for money, and then he started saying stuff about my writing, going, "Oh, you're a crap writer anyway, rah rah rah." And obviously writing is my huge passion. I know I'm not a crap writer. I'm not saying I can be better, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I know that overall I'm really good quality enough, right? And so, yeah. In private messages, though, I do write stuff that's kind of like has a lot of typos sometimes, because I type so damn fast. I just have to say sorry for the typos. I used to get really freaked out when I did that years ago, because obviously being an author, it's like you shouldn't really be making typos, but I allow myself to just do that in private message to my friends, because I'm like, well, I'm off duty technically. And so, yeah. Oh no, that's bad what he said to you. Exactly, because a narcissist, an abuser, what they do is they take your passion, what you love, what you're happy about, or even what you're not happy about yourself, and they'll twist it to their advantage to get what they want out of you. It's what they do. It's mind manipulation. Only I don't fall for it, but a lot of people would, because I've got used to these patterns of behavior, and I've got used to the way they work, and I know it's not my fault. Whereas before, I used to blame myself. I used to be like, oh, I must be such a bad person, or I must be so this, that, and the other. I mean, I'm not saying everyone, like, I'm not saying I never get hurt. There was the odd occasion. There was someone who did hurt me. I'm not going to say who it was, but there's someone who did hurt me quite a while ago now. And the reason it hurt more was because I knew this person personally. And then it hurt more, like some stranger who I haven't known very long, doesn't really matter to me, but someone I've known for a very long time, that hurt, And I recently found out something about someone, I'm not sure, because they've got good qualities and not good qualities about them, and I didn't know they were really bad qualities, and I'm not sure what to do about that. So I know they've got some mental problems. So you know what I mean? But people hide behind their mental problems sometimes. So they, you know, like a lot of people that got mental problems, mental health problems, then you know they can still be really good people and kind, and then other people can use it for not good means. They can just say they've got mental problems when really, you know, they've got they're using that as an excuse basically and hiding behind it. So you've got to be very careful. Unfortunately, it's quite sad. You find out there's quite a lot of people in the world that are abusive, mind manipulators. Like I did a thanks for the thumbs up. I did a pattern changing course in 2013. It's one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I got referred to it by the NHS to ensure that I don't get in a bad abusive relationship ever again. And you have like patterns you can look for, things that you can see. And I'm really, really happy I did it. It made such a difference to my life. You know, without that course, I think I would have ended up in abusive relationships again. But when you do that course and also knowing about psychology and understanding the psychology of things a lot, you can really see how many people are abusive, and it's quite shocking. It's very shocking. People like some of the abusers, they get so many friends. Like on sites, they just rack up their friends, and you're like, you haven't got a clue what this person's like. But I've always had the ability to see things from a very early age that a lot of other people can't see. I've always been able to spot people who are not that nice people that everyone thinks the sun shines out their backside. And that's been both a gift and a curse, because if no one else can see it, you feel like you're going insane. You have to trust yourself. In the past, I wouldn't trust myself, but now I do. I know I'm right. And I have people in my life that, you know, that back up what I'm saying, that are also learnt this stuff as well. You remind me of one of my nature. We are similar. Oh, bless you. Remind me of you remind me of my nature. We are similar. Oh, that's nice, you know? So you have to understand, like when I did the pattern changing course, I learned that 1 in 3 people are abusive. That was the statistics back then. So yeah, 1 in 3 people, that's 33.33% recurring, basically, something like that. 33% basically. So to 34%. Yeah. So that's a huge figure. And you find out when you come across people after you've known, sometimes you can see them really quickly, and other times it takes you a while. 100% beef. I got a but full of sunshine. Just playing off something you said earlier. Oh, you've been listening. 100% beef. Have you? Is that Garfield on your thing? I can't see what your I know it's a cartoon character. Is it? Is it a cartoon character? You got a butt full of sunshine. Well, I don't know what to say to that, but I'm guessing that's good. I'm glad you were listening to my get off your butt and do some work. But yes, it's true. It's true. People should get off their butt, you know, not be lazy and do some stuff. Doesn't mean to say you can't chill out sometimes, but there's a limit, you know. But the people who really want something so bad will work for it. The people who don't won't. No, it's cows because I'm 100% beef. Doesn't look like a cow to me. Doesn't look like a cow to me, but hey ho, what do I know? So yeah, it's very important that we understand that these people are not good people, and there's a lot of them in the world, and you come across them in your work, and you come across them online, and you come across some people who you've known for a while who turn out like this as well. So you know, you've got to be very, very careful, and you've got to understand that unfortunately there's, if you're a really kind, caring and super honest person, there's a lot of people out there that aren't super honest, aren't the worst people, that are the most bubbly. No, the worst people aren't those that are most bubbly. Not at all. The best people who that are those who live their true authentic life and be their true authentic self. And the people that don't like bubbly people are usually narcissistic abusers. Did you know that? Very, very interesting, isn't it? That's you. You're bubbly, Thiola. Yes, I'm bubbly too. And the people that don't like bubbly people are usually narcissists. So yes, I had one in my old job, and he hated the fact I was bubbly. Oh my God, did he hate it? Narcissists hate bubbly people. They hate them. They hate them with a vengeance. He didn't like the fact I was talkative, loud, bubbly. He'd rather me be pushed down and and pulled down and defeated in my personality. But I will always be me. So what I used to do when I was around him, I didn't used to show much emotion, which is what he wanted basically. And the rest of the time, but if I was talking to someone else around him, I would just ignore him and I would just be my bubbly self and I'd carry on being bubbly. It's just whenever I was right near him and had to deal with him. But yeah, he hated me being bubbly. I just carry on being it. But you don't want to be around a narcissist, because the narcissist, the way you deal with a narcissist is being completely unemotional with them. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be completely emotionless and not react whatsoever. So basically, you're just like a robot, just talking like this, showing no emotion whatsoever, just being very composed and talking on this type of level to them so that they can see that you're unemotional, and then you might get on with them and be able to talk to them in this sort of frame of talk and in this type of tone, because this is how they want you to speak. But that's not you. Yola, I like how confident you are. You don't allow them to make your low self-esteem. You're talking about glad you're being yourself, said Beef. Like fakers that act like everyone's best friend, but they're being untrusting behind their backs. Oh, yes. There are people who are fakers. I agree with you. And like being everyone's best friend, but they're untrusting behind their backs. There's quite a few of them. But in my old job, I was that much myself that people would say stuff in front of me. And I knew they didn't like me even in front of my face. And I was like, whatever. One was like, oh, you're so weird. And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, I really appreciate the compliment. I don't like being normal and boring. Appreciate being weird and different. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there are a lot of fakers. In my old job, there was a lot of fakers. A lot of fakers. And they're not used to someone like me. You're sorry to hear that. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yes. I knew a lot of them didn't like me there, but I wasn't going to suck up to them. Almost boring. Exactly. Like there's one guy there in my old job. He used to have anxiety really badly. And he used to get depressed, and people didn't know this about him. I used to know about him. People used to think I fancied him because I used to spend a lot of time with him because I got on well talking about business. I got so bored of the actual being there, not fulfilling my life purpose. I ended up talking about business stuff because I helped him with his business, do some mentoring as well. And people never saw that side to him. And he would put on this kind of like fake persona that he told me he was being fake basically some of the time. I think it's probably being fake a lot of the time. But he would change how he was to different people. And he would say one of the managers was such a bad, like, type of woman. And then he would suck up to her and flirt with her. And I'm like, you told me you didn't like her, but yet you're in the locker room actually chatting her up and flirting with her, even though you've got a girlfriend as well. He's like, oh, I'm not. I'm like, you are, basically, and it's like, it's so fake. And you'll get the people that are given scripts to say in the job. And I'm like, but what do you really think? Like, this is the script you've been given to customers, but I know you don't really think that, because what you're saying to customers is not actually the truth. Sounds like they're talking behind the boss's back. Well, this was one manager, and the guy was saying to me he didn't like her because she was well renowned for being really bad with people, like not nice to people, quite bullying in her approach to management style. But yeah, when we were in the locker room, he used to he's been over to her, smiling at her, chatting her up. I'm like, yeah, right, okay, whatever. I think honestly that I was one, if not the most authentic person in the whole of that company a lot of the time. Certainly on my floor. Certainly on my floor. Because I used to talk about asexuality. It used to get me into trouble sometimes. But I used to talk about it. I got told by the manager to stop talking about it on the shop floor. But my customers, well, I was in a concession. I wasn't working for the actual company, but I was working for a shop within a shop, like. But they kind of thought I was working for the company. And some of my customers are very interested because they're like, oh, because I say I write books. They're like, oh, what type of books do you write? And I'm like, well, I write 8 books for asexuality is my specialty. And in 2017, I published my first asexual book, this one, the Asexual Perspectives one. So I used to mention that to some customers, and some of my customers used to be very interested in it, and they were like very open-minded. But one time the manager heard me and he's like, oh, you not to say that anymore. So I agreed to not say that anymore because obviously I didn't want to lose my job. So I'm like, well, I'm just so used to saying it because I started this channel in 2015 and that job I was made redundant from in 2017. So later 2017 or October I left there, 2017. So this book came out earlier. So yeah, like I say I'm just used to talking about it like someone having a cup of coffee and just having a biscuit. Not that I have coffee and biscuit, I've just got so used to it. It rolls off my tongue because I do, because I started this chat show. Well, I didn't start the chat show. It wasn't originally a chat show. I started this actual this channel in 2015. I started chatting on here. When was it? 2018, I think I started. Was it July 2018? I started chatting on here like live pretty much every day. Beef, what a kiss butt he is. I think it's just a promotion of the book on store hours they had a problem with. It wasn't. It was the fact that I mentioned asexuality and it's got the word sex in it. And they said that's not appropriate because some of the people, there's because they had some kids come up there sometimes because it's a family store. So they thought of the word asexuality and it had sex in the title. That's why they told me specifically. It's got nothing to do with the book. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's because I had the word sex and asexual. They said, oh, if anyone overhears that and they only hear the sex part, it doesn't look very good. So you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. So it's fine. They had a meeting where they called me up to this room. I was a bit like, eek. And they told me, and I'm like, okay, I won't do that again. I didn't. I used to refer to it as ace in the end for people because people knew I did that. And when there was no customers, we ended up just talking about stuff like everyone did on the shop floor, like what they did at the weekend and all sorts of stuff while there was no customers around. So I used to use the word ace, which is obviously short for asexual. That's what I did with some people after that. But yeah, no, they told me it's specifically asexuality and because it got the word sexual in it. So, and if someone overhears, they could get complaints. I think they said someone did complain. I think it was probably a member of staff that said something. It's probably that guy. There's probably the guy, the narcissistic bully on my floor, who knows. But at the end of the day, I respect their wishes, and I only got told that once, and I said that's fine, it won't happen again, which was fine. I'm ace 2 and being ace is the least close to sex. Yeah, oh, it's nice to know you're ace 2. I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, exactly, it's the least closest to sex, and I guess I've always put asexuality first, I've always thought it's good to promote it. And I used to like help people decide on their bedrooms. So I was actually under the escalator with just one bedroom and it's a very like secluded place, but I have got a loud voice. And so actually like my customers like were kind of my own because I used to work for a concession in there, but I was under the same brand name as them. So, some of my customers just used to like asking me stuff and I didn't want to lie because I'm so honest. I didn't want to lie. I think I said I have a Twitter book out as well because I did. So I didn't say that was the only thing, but lots of people start asking me about asexuality. So, I've heard of it or what is it, and so I just wanted to tell them because it's like, well, they've asked me. I didn't mean anything horrible by it. And some of my customers, they actually, I don't think any of my customers had a problem with it. I'm always person too, you understand. Exactly. I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to say some rubbish about what I was doing. I didn't want to make up some stuff. Other people might like doing that, but I don't like doing that. So it just made it very, very difficult for me. I used to have to not say about the asexual book I was writing, you know? Should have to say about other stuff or not mention books at all, you know? Um, so, I'm autistic, so that's a trait I have. What, asexuality, you mean? Um, or being honest? Being honest, you mean? Yeah, being honest. Yeah, I didn't know you're autistic, but I actually have autistic asexual friends, and they get on really well with me because I'm very direct and honest and blunt. Have you probably seen on this channel earlier? I'm like, you want to come over to the UK, do this, this, and the other, and get off your butt and do some work. Being honest and ace too. Yeah. I mean, obviously, not everyone who's autistic is ace, because I know someone in my old job, actually, going back to talking about my old job, there was a guy who used to come in who's a customer, and he was interested in me more than a friend, right? But then he got a girlfriend after a while, but he used to come in because he had Asperger's. Like, he used to have to come in like every single week to see me at a specific time. And the management in the end told me I've got to stop him coming. He shouldn't be here in my work. That's another thing they moaned at me about, But he was a customer, but he wasn't like, sorry, I'm being weird on this sometimes. Oh, bless you. But yeah, I became friends with him outside of there because I said, you can't come in my work anymore. If you want to be friends with me outside of here, fine, but you just can't come. So he used to wait for me though sometimes when I didn't even ask him to. But he did get weird. I was friends with him for 11 months, and then he started getting really possessive over me and stuff like that, because he had other issues, not just autism, because I've got autistic friends and they're lovely. They're not horrible to me and they're very honest, and they're not like this guy. But this guy had a lot of other issues going on. In the end, he said, "Oh, they've diagnosed me with something something mood disorder or mental, like personality disorder or something." But he'd just gone too far, so I couldn't be friends with him anymore because he was writing nasty messages. But he was autistic, but he still liked sex, because when I talked about it with him, he goes, "Oh, I still want sex in a relationship, just because I'm like, just because I'm autistic. I don't mean to say I don't like sex." And he had some other problems. He said, yeah, autism doesn't stop good or bad people from being who they are in the inside. Yeah, exactly. I don't like it when some people hide behind their mental illness or their disability, and like pretend because they've got a certain disability or mental health problem, that they're a good person, when if they're not doing good stuff or being good, or they use it as an excuse to be bad. But yeah, my best friend, not all ace autistic are autistic, and vice versa. Exactly. Yeah, I want to make that clear, because there was some people, and they have said, "Oh, all asexuals autistic, or everyone who's autistic, are they automatically asexual?" And I said no, because there's a lot of people that think that's true. They think every autistic person's asexual. Some are. I think there's a higher percentage of asexuals with autism than those who are not asexual, from my experience of being in asexual forums around asexuals. Excuse me, but it's not true everyone, because this guy definitely wasn't asexual. He said, "I still like sex despite being autistic." So he told me that outright. He says that I doesn't just want cuddling and kissing. He wants more than that in a relationship. So yeah, so I just had to let people know that, because it's not good for people just to think that. I don't like being touched because of autism, but it makes me ace. Ah, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, some of my autistic friends, they don't mind being touched, and they're asexual as well. Like they like kissing and cuddling, just more cuddling actually than kissing usually. So they do like a lot of touching, like a lot of cuddling with their partner and stuff. But years ago, I didn't used to be liked being. I didn't used to like hugging. I didn't used to like close physical contact. I'm different now. But I didn't used to like hugging. Like all I used to do is hug my boyfriend, well, cuddle them at the time, and hug my parents to say goodbye. I would never hug a stranger or any friends or anything like that. I didn't like anything. Oh, you like kissing? Oh, I love kissing. How does that work then if you don't like being touched, but you like kissing? How does that work? I'm biromantic, never kissed a guy though, but I get crushes on girls and guys. I'm heteromantic, so I'm female attracted to guys only. So yeah, but I love kissing guys. The right guy, particularly Indian guys, foreign guys. Oh man, I love kissing. I love kissing way too much. Kissing is like my thing, my speciality. Oh man, I love kissing so much. I was trying to explain to the Indian guy who's just become my friend, who is interested in talking to me more. And he was talking to me about I said I like kissing. He said like cuddling, so I actually like kissing more than cuddling. I was kissed as a kid a lot, so it helped me. Been used to it. Ah, right, okay. Like when a guy kisses me, I like his hands to be round my back usually. That's where I like his hands to be, round my back, so I feel nice and secure when he's kissing me. But I like bodies intertwined with clothes on a bed, but with my clothes on. I mean, I have been naked in the past with my exes because I did have sex in the past, so I have to let you know that. But that was in my past. I'm kind of like different now. But like I do like close body contact with clothes on. That's sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. I love it when it's got hands around my back because it's nice and secure and lovely. Like a lot of asexual guys, they still like touching. It's like I don't really want your hands all over me, mate. Like, it's like put your arms around my back, maybe a little on my sides, but when it starts going to the front bit or the top bit, I'm kind of not really well, particularly the top bit more than anything. Depends on a serious relationship. I don't sometimes mind bottom bit. Relatable. Well, bless you. Yeah. So yeah, you know, like years ago I didn't, you know, I was completely naked with my exes. So, you know, I've just kind of like since I found out I'm asexual, it's kind of like, well, this is really what I don't like now. This is what I do. But I'm quite happy to touch a guy's chest. Am I British? Yeah, I'm very much British. 100% British. But I like foreign guys. Particularly Indian. I don't know how that works, but it does. It's just what I like. Yes, so I don't really get that attracted to British guys. Like I don't really feel that much romance or aesthetic attraction for them usually. Not very usually. Like maybe if I've known them a long time, I start having some feelings for them sometimes and I'm quite close friends to them. That can happen. But it's not the same as a foreign guy. Well, there's no fake A, so don't worry about it. Unfortunately, Beef, there are some people who fake being asexual. You haven't probably seen some of my previous videos about asexual scammers. There are people who do fake being asexual. They lie. Or they're on the, like ASAP, for example. Love the app because it really helps me talk to other asexuals around the globe and more in my country. They've had an update, it's great. But there's a lot of fake people on there that are not even asexual. There's people who are sexual on there and people who are fake on ASAP as well. You know, they got fake accounts. Usually some guy who's in the USA, who's around 45, 50 years old, who's a widow or works in the army and confused. That's the type of person you get on there. Because they want sex. So they'll for a Sam they come to the sites because they don't realise what asexuality means. So some people think asexual who are not asexual, they see the word sexual in that and they think it means this site's for highly sexual people because they're all advertising that they're asexual. Exactly. Wow. So, you know, I do a lot of stuff on this channel about scammers. So I like to keep my aces safe as much as possible. So there's sexuals on ace-book.net. There's sexuals on asexuality. Less so on there. But ASAP does have a number of sexuals. They've even got a category for heterosexual now on there, though, which I am glad about. Because if a person's going to be heterosexual or sexual, they should damn well put it on the profile, not pretend they're. But a lot of the ones on ASAP that say they're confused, the majority of them aren't asexual, the ones that get confused. Because the ones that are asexual usually put in their bio, if they do put they're confused, they usually say, oh, I found out I'm new to asexuality. I'm not sure exactly where I fit on the spectrum, but I think I'm this or something like that. Most of the ones that just put they're confused, it's because they're sexual. So you have to understand that there are people who are like fakers. They're asexual scammers, if you like, because they're not really asexual. Some of them don't even reveal it. Some of them do. And some of them, I've even go on ASAP, right? I had one guy today, clearly a fake, who's going, "Hello, pretty." I'm like, yes, this is just like being on a sexual dating site when they say stuff like that, I get it all the time. I blocked him. That was tonight's one. Where are we? So that was tonight. Pretty sure he's a faker. So this is ASAP. Yes. This guy, army guy, typical. In America, but he's younger than usual. Confused, born to defend. It's just like, hello, pretty. It's like a lot of them as well. I've been actually approached by sugar daddies looking for sugar babies on ASAP as well. Which, if you didn't know what a sugar baby is basically the sugar daddy. The guy pays you money to do sexual stuff. And he had like 3 sex type of pages on Facebook. That was the old, but I mean, they have updated it to put extra things in place. But it's like this guy here. I have responded to him because I don't know, but it's like this guy here. He's from South Africa. Confused again. An honest and godly guy. Whenever, like, if you look on Twitter, a lot of the people that say I'm a God-fearing man, they're after sexual stuff on Twitter, just to let you know. On Twitter, they'll go, "I'm single, I'm widowed, I've got a son, I'm a God-fearing man. I'm looking for friends." And they start messaging you going, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Because they're just after probably women, sex, money, visa. They're just after basically women, You got to understand that. But I mean, obviously Twitter's not just for asexuals, but this is an asexual thing. Honest and godly guy, gym addict. I love going to the gym, music freak. So I think he does look like he goes to the gym a lot. So I think this guy might be an actual person, real person, but he's clearly not asexual. And I told him, "Good, thanks, but I'm looking for a guy already in the UK, not abroad." Right? Where are we? This guy stopped talking to me or was asexual. He was from, where was he from? He was from Argentina. He was actually really nice to talk to and said about him studying in my country, right? In London. So I'm like, whereabouts in London? Oh, he doesn't know yet. See? You have to carry on asking the questions. If someone says, "Oh, they're coming to the UK," right? A lot of them lie too, unfortunately, or tell you what they think you want to hear. So say, "All right then, so whereabouts, what university are you going to? Where are you going to live? How are you going to get over here with the fact you can't get a visa?" You know what I mean? Do you even want to bother with the conversation? I mean, because he's from Argentina, it's possible he could get over here, but he's stopped talking to me at the moment. This guy, right? This guy, another guy. United States. Null. Null. Internet marketing. Blogger, forex trader. Hello. I've put, "Hi, I'm looking for a guy already in the UK." Quite clear about that. "Nah, I'm in the state, but we can still chat. Do you mind?" I haven't responded. Beef. "The worst part is it's preying off people that are ace. Sorry, might be late." Yeah, exactly. For that comment. Yeah, some of the comments on YouTube at the moment, they are playing up. Luckily, I can see yours, but the other day I couldn't even see most of them throughout the whole entire show till a friend sent me a message saying, "Look at all the comments you missed." For some reason, YouTube stopped the feed to me. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of the time, it is like preying off asexuals. I mean, to be fair, asexuals do go on some sexual sites, but we usually say we're asexual, or I definitely do. So I think if these people are going to come on our sites, they should actually say that they are asexual. I mean, that they're not asexual, that they're a sexual person. Do you know what I mean? At least say you're heterosexual. Don't start conning people. Do you know what I mean? Again, this was another faker. This guy just said hello. In the United States. I'm such and such person. I don't believe him either. I got rid of him. And then, it's just like this one, "Hello dear," blocked him. He was another one that was just fake. And you know what I mean? It's just like, I just like, it's just too much. It's just like I get fed up with it in the end. So, you've got to be very, very careful that there are people who are not really asexual out there. This is why it's really important to learn a lot about the psychology of people and the way they work, and about like things they say, because what they say and what they do, or what they say and what they mean is actually true, can be completely different. It's very, very important to, get honest people around you, and to not be led down the garden path. It's very, very important, including your own country, I mean, the amount of guys I've had when I've been clubbing and I said, I don't like sex. I don't like sex either. They actually say that to me. I'm like, well, of course you like sex. Actually, the last guy I danced with for about 5 minutes at the end, before the lockdown situation, he was Indian. He was studying in my country. I mentioned him earlier, in my city. Got a job, which is great stuff. But he literally, he kept going on about, I've got money, I've got money, I've got money, I've got plenty of money. I'm like, why are you telling me this? And he's like, oh, I can pay for a taxi to come back to yours. And I'm like, I don't like sex. He's like, I don't like sex either. I'm just like, clearly you do, because you want to come in a taxi and be in my bed. Why would you want to come in the taxi and be in my bed unless you like sex? Of course you like sex, It's just like ridiculous. And it's like a reaction they have. So when you say, oh, I don't like sex, they immediately react, I don't either. Well, of course they do. That's why they're asking to come back to your place. That's why they're asking, telling you to come to theirs or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just not true. So be very, very careful and look after your own safety out there. There are good people out there. I've met some really, really genuine asexual people. I got 2 asexual best friends who I'd never be without, both of whom I originally met online. One I met on asexuality.com, which is a dating site and social networking, predominantly used for dating, but we're best friends, but not romantically suitable. And my best friend, I met them through my no sex dating group. Again, no romance there. They're into guys. And so, you can make really, really good friends in person. I've got another friend who, like I said, is with their younger asexual fiance. We're not close, but we live near each other in proximity, and we do sometimes see each other and go for food and drinks and stuff together, when obviously it's not in this situation at the moment, with isolating and keeping distance, etc. So I have met some genuine asexual people. There are real genuine asexual people who want a relationship. There are real genuine asexuals who want friendship. I hold asexual meetups in person in my city in the UK. So I meet real life asexuals. I know they exist. There are nice ones, because obviously just because someone's asexual doesn't necessarily mean to say they're a nice person. I've had asexual guys online that have been flirting and chatting multiple women up at the same time, even though they're asexual. So just because someone's asexual, don't think for 1 minute they're all the same. There's some that are kind of like having online relationships with different women despite being asexual. It's just crazy. So I always keep an open mind, get to know someone if what someone's telling you and what someone's doing is 2 separate things, and watch what they say, because liars always slip up. Liars always slip up. They contradict themselves in the end. They'll tell you one thing and then something else will pop out their mouth, and they wasn't thinking about it. And you'll see the real truth then. And sometimes it takes a long time, months, maybe even years, to find these people out. So, just be very careful, keep an open mind, keep an open heart to the right person or people, but just make sure you look after yourself as well, and know that not everyone's as honest as you might be. I get on well usually with autistic people because I'm very straight, very honest, very outspoken, very direct. So if I've got my asexual friends, I'll just be direct and tell them my thing. And I could be suitable for being in a relationship with an autistic person in that respect, an autistic guy, because the way I talk, the way I'm very, very direct and in my speech is something they relate really, really well to. I mean, my Asexual Perspectives book, actually, one of my friends, my best friend, who's had an Asperger, they think is on the autistic spectrum. They're asexual. They think they're on the autistic spectrum as well. They've had a test. They need another one. They think I might be Asperger or something. They find my book a lot easier to read because it's broken down into questions, and each chapter has its own story. right? So some people are like, oh, I'm not keen on that type of like style, but this is the way I like to write my books, because I personally love writing, but I find it more difficult to read. I'm a slow reader. And I love non-fiction books because they're meant to be short chapters. They're not meant to be like fiction books with mountains and mountains of words carrying on continuously. That's not how a non-fiction educational book's meant to work, right? It's supposed to have short, snappy chapters, or shorter chapters. And so I write in this very, very style of questions on purpose, not only to help myself, but also to help the reader. My best friend, who's lightly on the autistic spectrum, they think with the test so far that they are. They said it's very, very easy to follow, and they love the style of this book because they like the fact, because they find it hard to read for long periods of time. They find it very easy to read. You know, they can read a chapter a day and they just find it so much easier, and they find the layout easier to consume. So, because it's like question answer, that's very direct. And like, as we know, there's a lot of asexuals that are autistic. So I expect a lot of them feel the same way. You know, it's because I like structure. I don't just like bumbling along with no structure whatsoever. I like structure. So even though I'm not autistic, my personality, I have some personality traits, and my personality that's very suitable to converse and interact with autistic people, because like even my personality is very similar in some ways. I love being young, right? And so I get really attracted to autistic guys, usually because they're young in their personality, and they're full of projects. They're usually doing projects all the time. They're very active, and I find that very, very asexually attractive. I love a guy who's doing projects, who's on the go all the time, who lives a kind of different life. I absolutely adore it, and that's why it really attracts me to a lot of autistic guys, because they've got very special qualities. I mean, they've got very excellent brains. They're far advanced in their brains in some things than other people are, and they usually get really, really into certain projects, and they are amazing at it. They excel so well at it, and they love the fact that I speak direct. I mean, I can emotionally connect with autistic guys, and people are like, oh, you're not supposed to be able to emotionally connect with autistic people. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've been told. And I'm like, well, I don't have a problem with doing that. I can do it quite easily a lot of the time. Because of the way I am. I just have that bond. So yeah, so my friend, like, my other friend as well, they're definitely autistic. And they've been autistic throughout most of their life, I think, if not all their life. And so, they find this book easy to read for that. This is my asexual perspective one, by the way. The link is in the description below if anyone wants to get this. Who's watching, by the way, just in case you're thinking, where is that random book? Asexual Perspective, you can sort of type it in yourself in Amazon. But, it's very, very easy to read. And I did it on purpose to ask the same questions to the people, so people can cross-reference. So if a person, for example, wants to know what are the positives about being asexual, they can flip through all the different stories and just see all the positives that people think about asexuality, and if they want to make a list of the positives then for themselves, they can make a list for themselves just by being able to see all these different perspectives. If someone wants to, like understand different experiences, so it says, how difficult is it for you to be asexual in a sexualized world? People literally flip through that question of all the different interviewees and read how their experiences are related to that one specific thing to do with asexuality, What's your view about sex? Have you ever had sex before? And if so, how did it make you feel? If you haven't, would you? So again, people can look at different people's experiences, people that have had sex before, people that haven't, people that may like it or still do it, people who don't. Do you believe sexual attraction, sexual desire are the same thing or different? Again, you've got 47 different asexual perspectives in this book. So again, you can cross-reference it. So that's why I've done it in that style. That's kind of like a style I like to do it in, but it does help a lot of autistic people. We have to understand that a lot of asexuals are autistic, and the way their brain works a lot of the time is question, direct answer, direct question, direct answer, direct question, direct answer. So it's actually a lot easier for autistic people to read that type of book usually. That's why. And I personally like it, like I said, because no, I know my best friend Sam, they have trouble reading a lot at once. They kind of like they're slow reader like me and stuff. So it really works out well for them. I know some people are not keen on that type of thing, like, oh, I don't like that type of layout or style. It's just a set of questions. It's not just a set of questions. They are strategically in the book, because these are questions I've been asked over and over and over again by asexuals who are new to asexuality and are like, if I'm asexual, like, if I do this, can I be asexual? If I do that, can I be asexual? Is this normal for an asexual? I got so many people private messaging me and saying the same thing to them over and over again, answering all their questions. I wanted to put it in a book for everyone, and I wanted to put it in questions answers, so we have all their questions answered. The worst thing for me when I go and buy a book is I pick it up and I think, oh, it's going to answer the questions I need, and it just goes into some like uber long lots of text, and I don't actually get my question answered, or I'm trying to scroll through so much stuff, read so many pages, flip through it to find the answer I want. And personally, that's just really annoying for me. Like, it's like, I want to be able to say, I've got this question, where's the answer? Oh, I'll pick this book up, or give me the answer. So, the answer to most common questions about asexuality are all in this book. Do you know what I mean? Like, when did you first discover you're asexual? How do you identify your safe asexual so you can see the different people on the spectrum? What's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? What's your view on love? Do you believe if a sexual person had a relationship with an asexual, it can work? What do you think about being fair or not? Asexuality is a lack of sexual attraction. As an asexual, what does this mean to you? Do you believe sexual attraction and sexual desire are the same thing or different? All these questions are what people were wanted to know the answer to. Do you think sexual arousal and sexual attraction are the same or different? What's your view on living with someone? And stuff like, what's your view on nudity, on porn, on masturbation, on BDSM and kinks, that type of thing. So all the questions that people have are in this book usually. I'm working on my second book for asexuals, it's Asexual Guide to Sex, covering pretty much everything you need to know about sex if you're asexual and new to sex, if you want to give it a go or try it or thinking about it or even think about doing some sexual acts. You've never done it before in your life, by experienced asexuals that have had sex and done those type of things before. So I specifically done, and there's been far more editing in my new book. Like, some people, we've been editing together over 5 or 6 months, and some people was like over 50 emails backwards and forwards to edit. So a lot of work goes into these books. The new book's got a lot of questions and answers as well, because that's a style that does work for most people. So I've got a lot of, obviously I've got a lot of good reviews about this book, and people do like, the fact that it covers all the asexual spectrum, the fact it's such a good introduction to asexuality, the fact that people can see how asexuality works in real life, and people don't feel broken after they've read the book. They feel like they're okay to be them. I know, because I've been private messaged a lot saying, wow, I felt broken before I read your Asexual Perspectives book, and now I just know I'm okay to be me. I know it's okay to be who I am, And so that just feels so good, There'll always be some people who don't like the same style of thing as you, and that's just the way it is, But I write quirky books, so I like to put it in a different style anyway. And I also let people have their own spelling. So if they live in the USA, they have the USA spelling usually, and if someone lives in the UK, they have a UK spelling. So there's 2 different types of spelling in the same book, which usually breaks conventional book rules. You either write it all in English, or you write it all in American English. You don't mix the two, but I specifically on purpose let them mix it, because I want people to be their authentic self. And if someone's from America trying to force themselves to write British English for the sake of a book, I don't think that's actually being authentic. So I break the traditional publishing rules in that respect. But anyway, that's enough of excitement for one day, I think, and chat. I hope you've enjoyed this. I want to say thank you very much to everyone who's been in chat. I want to say thank you very much to Abba for their questions earlier. Heather, who said hi earlier. Lots of love to both of you. Lots of love to Viola. Really, really appreciate you being here. Stay hot, stay beautiful always. Keep smiling. You're wonderful. And I want to say thank you so much to 100% Beef. It's lovely to have you on the show. Thank you for everyone who's been in chat. I really appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. I love you always. And thanks for the thumbs up. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, if you love the content in any way, shape or form, find it helpful, insightful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button. What are you waiting for? And hit the bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Stay strong, stay positive, stay beautiful you. And remember, you are gorgeous of your own right, and your difference is your beauty always. Take care. Lots of love. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Nice to see you. Bye.